Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause.
Comics Plus, what's going on? Akasan here.
What's up, guys?
There you go. It's time. It's our favorite time of the year. Well, one of my favorite times of the year.
That's right. Time to see Elena.
What? Oh okay. I was like, who's she? And then I get it.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts. We're watching the Thunderbolts. It's a Marvel time. We watched Winter Soldier together. Captain America, right?
Yep.
Yeah, same location actually.
As a matter of fact, I did a quick viewing of Hawkeye also.
Before this?
Before this, because
good
I
idea.
needed to see what was the closest time-wise.
Good idea.
Her character.
Good idea. Yeah, I'm ready. I heard this is one of the best Marvel movies actually made, or at least the best in credits. I don't know. So, but it's getting good reviews, which surprised the hell out of me.
It didn't surprise me because I looked at it like they didn't have much slated, so they kind of had to knock it out of the park. Especially before having your big tentpole film. So,
all right. Well, I mean that's pretty much it. There's not much more to say about it. Yeah.
Action, maybe some. So I don't know if it's funny or what because I'm staying away.
That's
from
a good
everything.
point. I mean, it feels like it's going to be like Marvel Suicide Squad, so to speak. Kind of. Marvel Suicide Squad.
Part of me hopes that it is.
Because we already know we do. I have an
hope
idea.
that it's not.
I already have an idea who the Slipknot character is going to be. Because that's a whole different thing. But I'm excited. And for me,
can I say who I think is the Slipknot character?
Who's that?
Taskmaster.
Yeah, Taskmaster.
Because
definitely
they
Taskmaster.
haven't used her.
Yeah, for sure.
Like at all.
For sure. And the only
Someone's going to catch that.
The only other thing is like my biggest challenge is how are they going to handle a team where like 3 or 4 of the people all have the same powers and do the same thing? They're all reject Captain Americas.
Ooh, creative writing.
Right? That's what I'm really curious about that. So we'll see, guys. Here we go.
Yep.
You guys probably saw this already in America, but this is actually the first time I've seen Elaine on the cover. What's her name? Right? No, Veronica Hand, I know, but the actress, she's so famous. Oh, Julia Dreyfus. Is that Dreyfus? A very famous name. Yeah. All right, we're back. All right, so we just got finished watching it. Immediate reactions. We're gonna make it a really quick because there's a lot to talk about, but we can save it for a further discussion down the week when everybody has seen it, because there's a lot to talk about. But
spoilers.
Yeah, we're gonna make this non-spoiler as much as possible. Toward the end, there's just really 1 or 2 big things to talk about.
Yeah, definitely stay till the
everything,
end of the credits.
100%.
You would any other
100%.
MCU movie.
The MCU has changed, I enjoyed it as well. I thought it was entertainable. I thought there were other movies that were definitely good. The writing was, I won't say it was wonky. It was good. It was good enough. Some of it came off a little try-hard sometimes, but it wasn't like a solid script in terms of dialogue, but it was as you would expect from a typical MCU movie, to be honest, like that. But what I do like is the overall theme that they were going for, which was about grief. Yeah. One, grief, acceptance of failure.
Acceptance of failure. Yeah. And loneliness.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Things that get kind of glossed over depending on the
100%.
IP, where
100%.
Like being a hero or being a villain, at some point in time your lifestyle is quite lonely because you're doing nothing but making sacrifices, be it for good reasons or bad.
And addiction. That's actually there's one that kind of got glossed in there as well, was addiction. They definitely deal with a lot of I won't say they're dealing with the snap or so much anymore, but there are events of there's people that are still grieving over what's going on, people that are trying to move on from a world without the Avengers as well.
Yeah, because you realize that there's a lot of people that just haven't recovered.
Correct.
And it kind of sucks, but at the same time, I kind of like it because it still feels recent.
Right.
Because
I agree.
From a fan's point of view, I feel like a lot of the fan base hasn't recovered
True.
from, the big fanfare of the MCU of what it used to be with
100%.
all these movies.
Right. And I definitely feel like we're gaining more speed and more traction in terms of more MCU movies that are interconnected now.
Yeah.
Like we actually have this. Sorry, there's an older. No, my yeah. It's actually raining right now, guys. So like we're making sure there's not actually a lot of walkway. So I'm moving the camera a little closer. So we're all good. Anyways.
Favorite characters?
For me personally, I feel like Sebastian Stan, Sebastian Stan, the Red Guardian, and Yelena, they basically, I won't say saved the movie, but they pretty much were the guiding force, the drive to make this movie happen. We mentioned her before. I keep on calling her Elaine, but
Valentina.
Valentina, but the actress's name. She was good, I think, in most.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Thank you, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I feel like in most times she was pretty solid in finding the character she wanted to play, but I also felt like sometimes they didn't really know exactly what to do with her direction, like her character direction. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I feel like, okay, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. understands his character, knows exactly the driving force. Right. Nick Fury understands that, right?
For me,
you thought it was pretty
her
solid.
Character was solid.
Okay.
She played her character, and I'll say she played defense quite well, and it worked for the types of jobs she had. Anytime you're talking about, at least within the last like 3 movies, when politics are involved in the story, she played that game pretty well. So I didn't have any issues with her.
So I get that, but see, here's the thing. I'm comparing movie-wise, what she was doing in the Thunderbolts was fine. Yeah. But what I mean is, like, when you start thinking about her as early as
from before up until now,
the Disney Plus shows,
well, I think that's
and I'm just like Wakanda Forever, right?
Her character's been fleshed out more recently than it was
right.
before. So
like,
I get there is a difference, and
right.
I'm actually happy. I like her character more now than before.
And I agree with you.
She doesn't feel shoehorned in.
Right.
Now she feels like her character's like, I kind of have a purpose, dark or otherwise.
Fair enough. So let's just blame that essentially on more or less the direction of the MCU as a whole, right? Because I think that's really the thing. It's like I think they threw her in there. Honestly, I really thought she was going to be Madam Hydra. The way when she was first originally introduced. Yeah. Now they're kind of like, I mean, it's pretty much clear by the trailers anyways, but they're kind of making her like a Norman Osborn type of prototype character since they can't get Norman Osborn, right? So I think that's what it was. But anyways, how about you? Favorite characters?
Yelena.
Of course.
Hands down, that's my favorite character. For me, I enjoyed the movie, and it's no shade to the title, but it felt more like a Black Widow 2 movie for me.
That's interesting, and I understand.
Or the passing of the torch
to
Yelena, so it's like she has her Black Widow movie, and then we get the Team Thunderbolts all in one film. So I'm like, okay, that was good, because it was just enough of both to where it still felt balanced and enjoyable. You
make a really good point, because I feel like that's essentially where you make a really good point, because it's like, without Yelena, Red Guardian, and Bucky, the 3 I like, the rest of the team is just like whatever. Like we already,
it's like they weren't. I'll say this: what I noticed is their characters were still good and still strong, but story-wise, it felt like the writing leaned more towards the history of those 3.
True.
And I feel like that because those 3 dealt with each other at some point in time in history via Russia and the United States.
True.
But then
that's a good point.
Then next you have Walker, who basically, he's there.
See, and I agree with you about that. Like,
he was there just enough, because the way he's there for me still felt like, well, he's not quite Captain America.
I agree. Well, it's not just that,
and he's not quite U.S. agent. So I'm like, that
I
actually
agree
works.
with you about that, because I feel like they're still left out. There's not. Like, it feels like they were just getting to the point of like, oh, we should kind of like him a little bit now, or he's working on it, but he's still not at that point yet. Yeah. Like, I feel like they could have. Well, I felt like they could have given him just a little bit more.
No, because for me, that would have been overkill. Because, like you mentioned before, you got Winter Soldier, U.S. Agent, and
John Walker. Oh, sorry, you said that. Red Guardian.
and Red Guardian. So
Yeah.
they're all three super soldiers.
And
right?
Yelena, yeah, in some form or fashion.
Well,
you're
all
right.
three super
Okay,
soldiers.
fair,
so it's
fair.
like you kind of have to balance it out.
I agree.
And then
No,
having
you-
him there, it's okay. But I still don't like. I like the actor, and I
Right.
like how he's portraying the character. I
And-
don't like him as Captain America.
Fair enough.
So I'm glad that they didn't make him likable for me. Like, well, actually, he could play Captain America. I didn't want that.
And
I'm
also-
glad they did that because you have Sam Wilson also.
I would also add to that just
Still
one more
needs to take
thing.
the damn serum.
Well, I will actually add in that one other thing is like we just literally a few months ago had a Captain America movie. So
Right.
if we had more Captain America in there, but yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
But
yeah.
that's the other thing. It's like, okay, let's say this movie had more Captain America in it, not Sam Wilson's version. Then it's more like the comic books where it's like, okay, you've got several people with the same moniker. So either A, you like the writing, or it's like, well, I don't like this version,
Right.
so I'm going to read the other version.
Fair enough.
So it causes animosity between the teams.
Right.
So it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense because that would happen because that's kind of human nature.
Yeah.
But I liked how they did it this way.
Best character development, of course, Slipknot. I mean, Taskmaster, 100% was all over the place.
Knocked it out of the head.
All knocked it. It was
Hole in
mind
one,
blowing.
Actually, mind blowing. Hole in one.
Amazing. If
but
you're a
it-
big Taskmaster fan, go check
gonna
it out.
love I will say that for me, I loved Yelena's character in this because there was more depth of emotion. Because before she comes off very
100%,
cold,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
great.
yeah.
But it flowed after spoiler what happens in Black Widow.
Yeah,
And then
in
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye,
And then
yeah.
now it's like
They
oh,
actually, this is
she's
where,
doing a
yeah,
really good job
exactly.
with
We're
that.
seeing
I
we're
like that.
seeing her a lot more, and then also how the events of Black Widow also affects David Harbour's character,
Yeah.
Red Guardian as well,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
you don't actually think about that. Like all those people in Black Widow. We never actually get to see what happens to them post,
Afterwards,
except for
yeah.
Yelena and Hawkeye. So that's cool.
This time you kind of do, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for it.
Definitely go check it out.
We will.
You need a
okay,
good laugh?
spoiler
Go check it out.
warning here. Here's the spoiler time.
Well, don't spoil it. Don't spoil
What?
it. Save it.
Just tell it toward the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah. I mean that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Spoiler warning. That's all you get. Welcome back, guys. So this is pretty much it. Look, from the beginning. What?
No, keep going.
What are you doing? Oh, okay.
That
Oh,
was a bit of a spoiler.
I get it. Yeah,
Hey.
4, 3, 2, 1. From the beginning, like when I first saw the first trailer for the Thunderbolts, I'm like, okay. And then I saw Valentina at Avengers Tower. I was just like, oh, so they're turning her more instead of Madam Hydra, they're basically turning her into a Norman Osborn prototype as well. And that was always in the back of my mind, but I really didn't think about it until the end, literally the end of the movie. Like, and we talked about Valentina's character. Like, I was like, how come she, like, sometimes I felt like she was really dumb sometimes. Like, she would make smart, dumb mistakes, basically, right? And then it was right at the end where she was just like, okay, why is she being so loud, literally, when these people are the people in earshot ready to hunt her? But it was all part of her
it's all part
plan.
of her plan.
Press conference, and the moment I saw that, I'm like, oh shit, we are getting the Norman Osborn Dark Avengers moment.
Yep.
But they took it one step further and literally they were like, ladies and gentlemen, the new Avengers. So that was, for me, that was great because I was like, okay, now it's all finally coming together. Similar arc to the comic books. For those of you that don't know, Norman Osborn took over as the leader of the Thunderbolts when he took over S.H.I.E.L.D., turned it into Hammer, yada, yada, yada. The Thunderbolts eventually became the Dark Avengers, but to the public, the title was called the Dark Avengers, but to the public, it was the New Avengers. The New Avengers in the comics were actually just consisted of Captain America, Wolverine. It was just basically called All-Star Marvel, but they called them the Avengers like that. So my mind, I won't say was blown, but I was so psyched. And then when everything made sense. The asterisk, it was like, okay, a holding point, that was perfect. I love that part, to be honest.
Marketing-wise, that was genius.
That was great. That was great, yeah.
I'm just happy to see Yelena being an Avenger, so she can kind of, for her character, try to live up to her sister.
And it seemed, That was actually
And
a
that's
really...
something I really enjoyed about not just Hawkeye, but how her character has developed from Hawkeye
100%.
to this. So of course from Black Widow, but specifically from Hawkeye to now because it's closer in time, and just the way she played it, the story made more sense.
And most importantly, it was that whole situation about, Red Guardian describes, look, the best moment of my time was when I was in the spotlight, I was a hero,
Yeah.
people are applauding me, and your sister as well, maybe that's what you need. And that was
Yeah.
great foreshadowing because
Yeah.
it was just like, oh,
And it's what
oh
she got.
shit, this is exactly, she got what exactly
Yeah.
she wanted.
Which is
now,
funny because I always looked at it as, like the way she described things, I felt like she was happiest
right,
when they were a family together.
fair. I do like
But she needed purpose. So
True.
being an
and now they
Avenger
have
gives her
one.
purpose,
They've. I do like the fact that I do like the new Avengers theme song. To be honest, because I might be wrong, but I believe
It's got a nice little
well,
kick to it.
not just that, but I believe at one point in time it's literally the Avengers chords, but backwards. The dun 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 dun
yeah.
dun dun, but it's the opposite direction and slowed down. It might be the same chords but reversed.
That's actually kind of.
Isn't that cool?
If it is, that's pretty cool.
Because it was the same, and then
and because they technically are the opposite of.
well, the whole
They
thing was like
eventually
dun
had-
dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
They used a very similar tone, but it was just like dun dun dun
And
dun
then
dun
slowed
dun
it down
dun
and
dun
be
dun.
inflicted.
It was really cool. So I thought that was a nice little. So I was, and here's
Violins were beautiful.
here's the thing is while they were playing, when at the end of the credits where they put all who composes everything,
Yeah.
I was looking for that because I really wanted to know what the name of this new Avengers theme song is, and then suddenly I see
the
Fantastic
Fantastic
Four
Four
theme,
theme
and I'm
song.
like,
It's like,
wait,
what?
what?
I don't remember that.
Lo and behold, the end credits, one of the coolest end credits.
I honestly thought it was because of that IMAX promotion at the beginning. So
no,
before
right.
here, at least before the movie starts, there is a IMAX promotion promoting the Fantastic Four movie that will come out in July in
Yeah,
IMAX.
so-
Like, oh, okay. I guess that's what they meant.
Normally, you can actually look it up online. It's really weird. I thought it was actually really clever. Let us know, guys, outside of Japan, if you guys are getting the same thing. Normally, when you see an IMAX movie out here, there's this interesting 3D, sometimes 3D countdown where
Yeah,
it
yeah.
shows like
From
this count
10
of five
down.
from 10. It does, yeah. It
Yeah.
starts from 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But this particular version, he noticed it first.
Yeah.
I was looking at my phone.
As soon as it got to the number 4, they started.
Well, no,
humming
even
and
before
singing-
that, you
singing.
mentioned something thing or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So they had graphics of different characters, and the thing is, when they do it, usually it's like a
It's
default
just very
person.
standard, yeah.
And off to the left, they had one that was very much like a modern
Right.
art version of thing. I was
And
like,
then-
wait, what? And then the tones shifted.
Yep.
And,
And
they
then
got
once
to
they
number
got to 4, it was like, oh
Fantastic
shit. Yeah,
Four? I was
yeah.
like, oh, what?
So it was a
Oh.
very special, specifically made Fantastic Four IMAX thing.
So it may be in all IMAXs.
Right, let us know. But
yeah, yeah.
the
It was
end
cool.
credits, pretty damn cool that 14 months later. So I guess Fantastic Four, either, I think Fantastic Four is just going to jump around regardless where the movie's going to be. But timeline wise, we now see that the new Avengers have actually set it up. Sam Wilson,
Doesn't get along with the
Bucky currently, or
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have a disagreement. So it's the new
Because he's
Avengers
working for Valentino.
versus Sam Wilson's Avengers team. We don't know who's going to be on that team. I'm very curious about that.
No, but now that you're saying it and looking at
what
it,
if
it's
it's
like that would be part of
what
the
if it's
sequel.
Wolverine? What if?
Well, that would make sense.
Right.
Wolverine being on the same team as Sam Wilson because
Yep.
they introduced the
Adamantium.
in that
I think
film.
we're on to something, dude, because that would actually
that
make,
would make
sense,
sense.
because it's going to be Wolverine, Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man's probably going to be on Sam Wilson's team. They haven't been announced for
Man.
Doomsday. If you think about the,
No, because they would be in the follow-up film.
that's what, but no.
Or
They haven't been
they'd be
announced.
announced
Yeah.
just before the movie's released.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that's going to be the next lineup when they do the roll call. It's going to be, and then we're going to
That's
get Old Man
heartbreaking for
Cap
me.
as well, probably.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking for me.
Yo,
'cause
that's
I need
dope.
I need to have Sam Wilson, Captain America, Bucky, and Yelena on the same team. I can't. Have
I don't
them
think it's
fighting
going to
together.
happen, dude. It's literally going to be the new Avengers versus whatever
Yeah.
Sam Wilson is going to be calling his team. So
Sam Wilson will get. They're going to be called the Avengers.
probably.
Because I mean, the only other thing is like what the West Coast Avengers that they hinted at.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolts.
And it doesn't have
the
same-
Dark Avengers.
The Dark Avengers.
Because Sam Wilson.
Oh, damn.
Well, I look Black Widow and everything, bro. Like, anyways. All right, so
It's so messed up.
after all that,
Definitely go check it out.
that
It's
was
a
it.
good
And then
movie.
yes, the Fantastic Four or somebody showing up on the rocket ship. The
Yeah.
question is this?
Because that would be a good misdirect if it's not the Fantastic Four and it's Doom.
I was gonna say, interesting. Is it what?
Yeah, because look at it, it's like, okay, you got the Fantastic Four.
Oh,
Can we say what we saw?
yeah.
Okay, so we see the ship coming in. Ship
And
like
it's-
the Alpha Tower, by
yeah.
the way, or a needle. So it's flying into our orbit, and I'm looking at it, it's like, of course people would expect the Fantastic Four, but wouldn't a very interesting misdirect be if it's Doom?
Doom, right.
First, and he gets there, and he's basically setting up his team
Doomsday.
before they get
and that would
there.
be the new Avengers. That would actually work. That
Yep.
might work actually. Other than that, I guess the only other thing I feel like we're kind of glossing over it, but Sentry. Well, here's the thing. I felt like
he was interesting, but they didn't do much with him. But also for a good reason.
But I felt it
Overkill.
was. I felt like it was, and that's exactly the issue. I mean, because Sentry, it's literally the
He
same.
didn't have to be there.
But no, here's the
But
thing.
having him there was
But that's
cool.
the whole problem is because Sentry has always been that much of a problem in the comics as well. Is
Right.
that they can't do much with him, so they just make him schizophrenic, basically. What?
What if they introduced Blue Marvel?
They might. They might. They might. That would be crazy. I don't know. It might work.
So Kevin, I'm still waiting for that call.
It might work.
to portray Blue Marvel for that. But
I'm
anyways,
excited though. I'm excited. It feels
That would
like
be cool.
it feels like essentially Marvel is putting a lot of stock into Fantastic Four here, which is going to be the next big movie in just a few months.
Yeah.
And then after that, is that it for the Marvel movies this year? I feel like there's one more. No, Superman is on the Wonder Brothers side. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it for
Is it?
Marvel movies. I mean, that would
There
be
was only two. There
dude.
was
That's
only two this
three,
year, right?
No, two so far. 3 Marvel
Two so
movies.
far?
Yeah, Captain America.
Oh no. Oh, sorry.
Brave New World.
Because I'm thinking teams. Sorry.
Oh,
That's what I was in team mode.
I'm just talking about the movies releasing.
Movies in general. So
I think
we
that's
had
pretty
Cap,
much it.
Cap, Thunder, and then
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
And then I think that
next
leads into
spring would
Doomsday,
be
right?
Doomsday.
Yeah.
Wait.
Is that
Doomsday
it?
is next summer, right?
Do we get a
Or
Spider-Man
is it
before that?
spring?
No, maybe that's
I think
it.
we have a Spider-Man next. Spider-Man's in spring, and then Doomsday is in the summer.
Okay. Maybe that's where Spider-Man gets recruited to the Avengers.
Well,
I
I'm
don't
interested
know.
in seeing because where was he when all this happened?
Washing his tights, being forgotten. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, guys. Make sure you check. Stay tuned to DC Sun social
Yes.
media.
If you're in Japan,
I was gonna say that
definitely
next
come
week.
Out to, we have an art exhibition going on that I'm curating and helping to produce for Ryan Benjamin on the 9th and the 10th at the Air Building. The Air Building on the 5th will be from 5 to 11, and then on the 10th from 11 to 11.
Okay.
So definitely come check it out.
Talk to you next time.
Keep it safe.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.